This is a reading for you. It is not attached to a zodiac sign nor a timeline. The intention is if you come across this reading, it should benefit you in some way. That being said, if you resonate with this reading, feel free to like and subscribe. There will always be an extended version available on my Patreon. Let's go ahead and get started. I've pulled some cards for you here, and it seems as though there's been some sudden changes in your life. Maybe things have picked up pace. You know, I would say that this is very much for the better, even though the uncertainty of it maybe makes you feel a bit uneasy. I'm going to say that doesn't matter, though, because you do seem to be consciously working through it. And I will say that there is very much a note of a supportive environment or home life or friends, family, something around you. You know, you have support. And though, you know, the uncertainties or the anxieties can, you know, tend to weigh you down, I think that you're going to snap out of that sooner than later. Because you have the Chariot on ground level. This is a determination to succeed, a determination to push through, a victorious triumph over thy enemies, and so on. Now, there are important decisions ahead of you. And I think that you choose creative passion, you choose innovation, you choose to not cower at the tower, not cower at the mountain ahead to climb, but instead harness that internal strength, that devotion, that divine essence. And maybe you have a lot of weight on your shoulders, but you're still moving quite quickly. In fact, so fast that, you know, even the horse gets a little nervous here. But I think that your outcome will indeed bring you victory and a sense of fulfillment. You know, this also talks about sort of a dedication to self-improvement or just harnessing your best self. Maybe even taking on some larger commitments. That definitely seems to be noted here. And that could involve institutions, it can involve learning. If it's in your relationships, it would be just like a devotion or perhaps marriage. But this feels like a very big picture kind of thing. And maybe you're at the starting point of it. Maybe you've been working on it for years even, but there's sort of this new step of development that you seem to be taking on. Advice. Oh, dropped a couple here. Let's see. And for those of you who are curious, I'm just using a standard Celtic cross spread. That's usually my go-to. Definitely like and subscribe if you are enjoying this or resonating. You may have potential partners, people or a specific person taking interest in you in some kind of way. Clarify this outcome. You know, your advice is to embody the energy of the Fool. Free-flowing, optimistic, trusting that when you take that leap, the divine will catch you. And you'd be surprised at how much that faith comes into play with one's success. Whether you believe in God or the divine or not, there is, you know, so what I'm saying is whether it's real or whether it's a placebo, it works. Doesn't, and you know, those who are truly sort of in the depths of practice, like, you know, of magic or manifestation or, you know, moving through the world, you know, let thy results be your proof, right? Doesn't matter if it's placebo or if it's real. If it works, it works. And this is sort of saying, make that judgment call. You are the magician. Step into that power of knowing what is coming to you and ambitiously determined, you know, ambitiously take on that energy of what you seek. Because right now it seems like you're kind of resting, and maybe it's not really the time for rest. Yeah, like the advice is like, don't snooze on an opportunity, basically. Get up, get going. There are new ventures ahead of you, fresh communications, fresh relationships, and starting to be able to really see your vision come to life. You know, I picture, where in this reading specifically, where he's gazing at that cup, sort of visualizing it, and that fish popping out is sort of his vision coming to reality. It's like, say he was wanting to catch a fish, and now that fish is just literally jumping out of the cup. Your outcome here would suggest collaborations, new beginnings, perhaps financial relief in some way, or just people giving you assistance or time or focus. You know, maybe you have been working hard for a long time and haven't received the recognition you deserve, or maybe you've had difficulty with this in the past. Maybe you've had to really balance. Maybe you've had to, like, you know, really hold it together. And now I think that things are kind of becoming easier. I think that people are going to help you out. I think that people are going to start responding to what you're doing. And, you know, sometimes it happens like that. Like, you could have years of struggle, and then all of a sudden something just sort of goes in your favor. And that one thing can start off a whole pattern of momentum if you run with it. So let's say, like, you had financial burdens, and then you all of a sudden had some kind of gain or win, right? Don't rest on that. Run with that. Make that a spark of momentum, because when you have that energy flowing, you can start to produce more of it. I think people often make the mistake of taking a break when things are going well, when really, when things are going well, let that empower you, let that carry you, because that's what's going to keep it building. What to expect. Again, you know, like and subscribe if you're enjoying this. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you just being here. Okay, so what to expect. What I would say here is, you know, where I say don't rest, like, there's definitely a need to pay attention to your needs, right? But, you know, give it that little extra, because it does sort of suggest you might get a little bit worn out. And that's okay, because I'm going to suggest, you know, push a little further than you normally would. Push a little further than what's maybe even considered normal or healthy. Because the thing is, like, everybody wants to achieve something extraordinary, right? But in order to achieve the extraordinary, you must be extraordinary. You must do the extraordinary. And the extraordinary does not come from a place of comfort. It does not come from a place of ease. It comes from a place of devotion, of dedication, of pushing further than the next person, of pushing further than the boundaries that you have set for yourself before. And I do think that, I also want to get a note of, like, make sure you're paying attention to your relationships, like your close ones, because if you become very entrenched in something, you know, if you're not conscious of that, it could sort of drive a wedge between you and certain people, maybe. But also, if you just tend to that in a good way, you know, I mean, again, in your outside influence, you have the Ace of Wands, you have the King of Pentacles. So I think that you have very strong, supportive networks in some way. Just make sure that you're tending to them, is all. And, you know, investigate, take on the responsibility to learn about your potential and to learn about your goal and to continue to move towards it with, you know, an educated and determined perspective rather than a chaotic and ignorant perspective, if that makes sense. And you will reach a place of being able to, you know, take a rest and celebrate. That is ahead of you. You have the Chariot, and then that's followed up by the Ten of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. So it's going to be after a sort of a severe push in a positive way that you will come to a place of where you're going to be able to feel comfortable and kind of move with confidence and with patience. And I think that that's probably in the near future. I think that things are probably going to go a lot better for you than you even realize. I also get the impression of, you know, gaining interest, right? People taking interest. People examining and realizing your potential, your possibilities, and perhaps even investing in that. So, you know, if you have something specific, be wise, because this could be a very good thing for you. Now, I'm going to take this a bit deeper on my Patreon. So if you want to join us for a little bit further of a look into this and into what's to come and everything else, definitely support and join me on Patreon. That is available in the description below. It's the first link. I am also available for personal readings, which you can access through my shop. I also have artwork for sale and various other services. So definitely check that out. And again, if you enjoyed this, please do like and subscribe, share, comment, all that stuff. Let's get this channel cracking. You know, I haven't been posting quite as regularly. I've just been a lot more busy with my like fine art stuff. I do like fine art, and I've had just a lot going on with that recently. So, but the posts will be picking up more regularly again. So I thank you guys for your patience and hanging out. So that being said, I'll see you on Patreon.